So today we are going to talk about the Hindu editorial of 22nd August 2021, that is today. Before we move further by reading this article, let us have a quick look at the difficult word that we are going to come across. Okay, so the first word is intercept. That means to obstruct, that means to obstruct someone or something so as to prevent them from continuing to a designation. It basically means to cause hindrance or to act as a barrier or prevent someone from achieving or reaching a point that they aspire to reach. Okay, so in this case, in this article, the Taliban is causing the hindrance using different means. Clamoring of a group of people shout loudly and insistently. So clamoring means a mass or a group of people who are shouting loudly and continuously without any pause or any break. A convoy is a fleet or group. And next one is stampedes, a sudden panicked mass rush. So there can be many reasons due to which there's a mass rush. In this case, you can see that the people are trying to get past these Talibans and reach the airport so that they can be evacuated. So there's this sudden panicked rush, and they is stranded, left without the means to move from somewhere. So this can be in two contexts. Some like means here can be in the terms of transport, that you don't have any transport available so that you can navigate or move from one place to the other. And in other sense, it can be that you don't have any basic needs, you're not well enough or you're not capable enough to move from one place to the other. Seamless is smooth without obvious joints. Seamless basically means that you have a smooth way and there aren't a lot of obstacles and hindrances in your way, and things can go on smoothly. Moving further on, we'll read the newspaper. It says 80 Indians evacuated in 150 missed flight as Taliban intercept them. We already know the meaning of intercept, that is to cause hindrance or act as an obstacle in their way. So let us read the article. At least 80 Indian nationals were airlifted from Afghanistan capital Kabul to Dushanbe, neighboring Tajikistan, on Saturday aboard an Indian Air Force C-130J aircraft. However, more than 150 others failed to get past the Taliban guards, blocking access to Kabul airport in time for flight. So here it's saying that 80 Indian nationals were able to make their way to the Kabul airport and have been evacuated, and they have been able to land safely in the capital of Tajikistan, that's a neighboring country of Afghanistan. And but at the same time 150 others failed to reach the Kabul airport on time because the Taliban guards blocked access to Taliban airport. So they have not been able to reach the airport at time and hence have missed the flight. The airlift was part of ongoing efforts of the government to bring back hundreds of Indian doctors, teachers, engineers and others who have been unable to leave the country since the Taliban took over more than a week ago. So this is an initiative by the government of India, and they are trying to get back all the Indians residing in Afghanistan currently, including doctors, teachers and engineers. They are trying to bring them back safely to India without a lot of damage and also preventing them from further damages. So that's what the Indian government is trying to do right now, and there's a lot of controversy on this. I'll talk to you about this in the end, but let's continue on by reading the newspaper. Robbed in Doha. The group of 80 Indians who managed to enter the airport perimeter on Thursday finally boarded the special plane late on Friday night and are due to return to New Delhi by Sunday morning. A third small group of Indian nationals was able to board a NATO operated charter which dropped them in Doha. They are expected to return India by commercial flights. So here it's saying these 80 Indians who managed to enter the airport on time on Thursday, they have been able to land in Tajikistan's capital, and there's an airport that's called uh, that actually isn't mentioned, but in Dushanbe, yeah. So, and they'll return to India on Sunday by boarding another flight, that is Air Force C-130J aircraft. And also, a smaller group of Indians have been evacuated by this board of national operated charter. So you might be wondering, what is NATO? Let me tell you. NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. This was signed between not of a lot of different countries, but it is operated by the USA. And you already are aware that USA is evacuating its citizens and the embassy people of USA and everyone, but none other than any USA citizen. And also here, charter means the hiring of an aircraft, ship, or motor vehicle for a special purpose. So these NATO have hired an aircraft, or in this case, it's an aircraft, but it can be any mode of transport which could have been hired to evacuate these people. But this time it's an aircraft. So some Indians have also been able to evacuate through this flight that had been initiated by this NATO operated charter, which dropped them in Dona. They are expected to return to India by commercial flights. So now they have been able to land in Doha, that is the capital of Qatar. So you might be wondering, where is Qatar? Qatar is somewhere here. It's a small country. And now they'll board a commercial flight. A commercial flight is a flight in which you have to pay, and they'll reach India. On Saturday, the US-led NATO forces guarding the Hamid Karzai International Airport sealed several entry points due to large rush of people clamoring to get in, and had to fire rounds in the air to stem the crowds. So here it's saying that the US, all these Hamid Nazi International Airport, which is also the other name of the airport in Kabul, and they had to fire guns in the air, not on people, but yeah, just to scare them away, that if they can fire it in the air, then they can fire it on the people as well, because the people were trying to get on the airplanes. Like, there wasn't any, if they had no visa, like if Indians are being evacuated, they need to have Indian visa, but the others who weren't having Indian visa, they were also trying to get on the airplanes, if not inside, then on top of it. So the USA didn't want to take this risk that people would seeing people falling from the airplanes, seeing people falling off from the airplanes. I know that's a bad drawing, but pardon me for that. And so they had to fire guns in order to keep them away from the airplanes. And also, when so many people are trying to get on the airplane, then how will the airplane take off? So that's what. Visuals on international channels showed an unconfirmed number of bodies of Afghans who died in stampedes and due to severe dehydration. So it's saying that the global news, or many other global networks that are covering this news, because it's a big one, so are also talking about the, yes, here it's stampede. I've already told you the meaning. That is a sudden panicked rush of a whole mass. So they are telling how what what a chaotic situation there is in Afghanistan, and how people are dehydrated, like in the sense that they do not have any food, they do not have any means of, like, they're not able to fulfill their stomachs, but still they are just after to save their lives. Others reportedly died in violence and firing by the armed military on the crowd outside the airports, and many others died outside the airports while they were trying to get on, and there were these gunshots, and some of them hit them, or maybe Taliban hit them. So many of them died also. And okay, here the term armed militia means a group of private citizens who train for military duty in order to be ready to defend their state or a country in times of emergency. So these people, armed militia, may not be the officials. Okay. Official coordinating the movement of the second group of 150 Indians said the convoy spent the entire day trying to enter the airport, and some of them were briefly detained by the Taliban guards outside the airport to have their documents checked. So these, they are saying that some people who missed their flights, was one of the reasons that's been mentioned here, is that the Taliban was taking a lot of time to check their visa, like whether they are actually Indians or they're just trying to get away from Afghanistan in the name that they are Indians. Okay. And so, and convoy, I had already told you that it's a group or fleet. Despite being released and allowed to proceed subsequently, the group had been unable to reach the airport gates at the time of the going to press. So it's saying that people, like, even after they were allowed to, like, after the checking of their visas and everything, they were released and they were allowed to go to the airport, they missed it because of the reporters and everything, the press that was there at the time, and also because of the chaos, the press, and the lack of communication and everything. So yeah, now let us move on to the next page. Yeah. Yeah. So here it's saying 80 Indians evacuated. Just let me. 80 Indians evacuated 150 flight means this is continued part of it. A second IAF aircraft is now parked at Dushanbe airport, awaiting clearance to go back to Kabul once a group of 150 is able to enter. So as I had told you, Dushanbe is the capital of Tajikistan, and there the flight that has taken 80 people earlier is now again waiting for the 150 of them to reach the airport safely, so that it can go back and get them or evacuate them as well. We are operating the flights from Dushanbe as it is difficult for planes to be parked in Kabul for an extended period, explained an official involved in the operation. So people are saying, like, an official claim that they are getting people evacuated from Kabul, and then like getting them to Dushanbe, and now they're landing, like they're keeping their flights there itself, because there's so much chaos in Kabul that they cannot land their flights there for a long period of time, nor they can leave it there for a long period of time, because people would just get into it. They would break the windows and try all means to just get into the airplane. The biggest problem is ensuring safe passage for Indians trying to reach the airport, and increasingly for them to be allowed in the MEA's Special Afghanistan cell that has been coordinating over the telephone and through social media groups with Indian stranded in Afghanistan. Now estimates that once all the three groups return, an additional 200-250 Indians still remain to be rescued from Kabul. Okay, that was a big one. Let me explain it to you. It's saying that the biggest problem is getting the people out of Taliban and giving them a safe, like safe passage, because if they're living in towns, to reach the Kabul airport, in between only many of them die due to hunger, due to the weather, or due to lack of transport. They have to just walk so much distance that out of dehydration they die. And also the Taliban shoot them, who knows. Yeah, obviously they do. And also, and like there are so many people that they're just coming and claiming, I'm an Indian. So for the MEA, that is the Ministry of External Affairs, so in the Afghanistan cell, so they have to also recognize who actually is an Indian. So they have to check their visa and all other things, because they can be fake ones. So it's taking a lot of time in that also. And that is being coordinated over telephone and through social media groups. And the word stranded, as I had already told you, it means left without the means to move from somewhere. So the Indians who have been stranded, like they have nowhere to go otherwise. And obviously other people, other communities, other groups living there, or other people from other nationalities, or even from Afghanistan itself, have no other means. But here we are specifically talking about the Indian Indians, because the Indian government is trying to uh, talk about its people and getting its people rescued. So that's what. So they have no other means. That's what the Indian government is saying, and they're getting them rescued, leaving the other in the hands of those deadly people. I don't know how can anyone do that. Anyways, and there have been three rounds. One was when they had kept all of them in Tajikistan, and the other was that NATO oriented charter, and the other is the last one, this the one that is going to be held, like the 150 people. And they're saying even after these three, there'll be additional 200 to 250 Indians who will remain in Kabul. And further moving on, with the Indian embassy in Kabul closed, or organizing their passage has become more difficult with each passing day, even as no formal government has been formed in Afghanistan. So it's saying the Indian embassy. Tell you about Indian embassy. Like if an Indian is living in Afghanistan, they are trapped, or they need any kind of help, they can uh, ask the embassy for it, and get all their problems solved. Or maybe if they don't have a visa, or they have lost it or anything, they can contact there and they will help them for any doubts. But now that the embassy is closed, the Indian embassy is closed, the Indians have nowhere to go. And also the fact that currently the Afghanistan has no government. We had already looked that the governors and the rulers there are just giving up their power uh, without any hesitation or without any resistance instead. And also that the president had already fled the country. So we can see there's no government in Afghanistan currently. So obviously there's no one to protect the rights of Indian and help them. Our single focus at the moment is to bring Indian nationals back, the official added, explaining the Afghan staff member of the Indian embassy and other Afghans who holding visas would not be facilitated immediately. So it's saying that our prime motive, or the main motive, is to get the Indians back. And this is they're telling to the Afghan staff of the Indian embassy, although it's closed, but they have contact with them, and they are telling them we want them back safe, without a lot of damage, and make sure that no other people with fake visas are trying to evacuate, like are trying to get along within these Indian groups, and trying to get out of it. And they're saying that other Afghan people who have Indian visas, they wouldn't be allowed at this time, only Indians are allowed. Okay. And meanwhile, about 72 Afghan Sikhs and Hindus most of whom have Indian visas and have families residing here, are unable to fly out after Taliban military reportedly turned them back from the airport. An NGO working on evacuating the Afghan minority said. So, an NGO that is trying to evacuate the Afghan minority, they said that there were 72 Afghan Sikhs and Hindus who were trying to evacuate, but the Taliban has held their Indian visas, and hence they are not able to not able to board the flight and get out of Afghanistan. It is unclear whether the Taliban has officially decided not to let the group that is taking shelter together at the main Gurdwara in Kabul leave. It is unclear whether the Taliban has officially decided not to let the group that is taking shelter together at main Gurudwara in Kabul leave. So it's saying, it's just, I think it's just mocking that has the Taliban decided to sit together, why aren't they letting the Indians go away? Is it because they're trying to, they have decided to sit outside or inside Gurudwaras with them and do all the rituals, everything? We are trying to ensure seamless coordination with local guards and through the MEA to US forces so as they are allowed to enter the airport. So here is saying that they are saying that we are trying to ensure seamless coordination with local guards and through the MEAs to US forces so that they are allowed to enter the airport. So here seamless means smooth and without obstacles, a lot of obstacles. So they are trying to get all the Indians out of Afghanistan without a lot of hindrances and a lot of barriers in between. This is what Taliban is saying, despite the fact that at the same time they are holding back the visas of Indians and not letting them go, and at the same time they are saying that we are trying to make sure that they do not face a lot of hindrances. So that's a double-sided one. Okay. Once they come to India, we will help rehabilitate them. Sorry, actually this is said by the Indian government, that they are saying that we are trying to get them back from Afghanistan without a lot of obstacles and a lot of problems and a lot of damage, and we'll try to rehabilitate them and facilitate onward travel. And this was said by Vikramjit Singh Sane, president of the World Punjabi Organization. So this was told by the Vikramjit Singh Sane. He is the president of the organization of Punjabis. So he's saying that we'll get all of them back to India and we'll try to resettle them, rehabilitate them, give them new space and space to regrow and rebuild themselves. And he told this to the Hindu newspaper, explaining that the MEA has committed to bringing the group back to Indian Air Force aircraft required. So yeah, it was basically that the Indian government and other forces are also trying to get the Indians back. But is that enough? I don't think so, because why evacuate people of just a single community or single nationality? Aren't people who belong to other nationalities are humans? Are people belonging to different groups, different communities aren't humans? Although the act of USA was selfish, that they got all of the people, like all of their officials evacuated, and before any harm could before and there was any harm to them, but it was all USA's fault. Whatever is the situation of Afghanistan, that is because of USA. 20 decades, like 2 decades they lived, 20 years trying to build a stable situation in Afghanistan, but now they are leaving Afghanistan at a more worse situation. And and adding on to it, they are doing the selfish act of just getting their people. I mean their people evacuated and leaving the others into what I don't have words to describe it. And this act was criticized all over the world, and USA, the most powerful and a country who's looked upon, is now being belittled, and people are ashamed of its work. And now India is doing the same thing. Is it fair? We are evacuating only Indians. Why? Aren't others living there humans? if if not for if not for anything else, we can do this for humanity if we have anything left. So that's what I wanted to say. uh, so yeah, thank you.